Hello, and welcome to today's video. I'm excited because today I'm going to be telling you guys about my cruise. So in my previous video, I told you guys about the time that I spent in Mexico, which was one of the port days of the cruise. And then now today, I thought it'd be fun to just kind of go over the general, what it was like being on the actual cruise ship, because that was so we got on the ship on Monday, afternoon. We're on there the rest of the day Monday, all day Tuesday we're on the ship. And then Wednesday was when we had our port day at Catalina Island. And then Thursday was our port day in Ensenada, Mexico. And then Friday we just got up and got off the ship. But yeah, so I absolutely loved just being on the cruise ship. It was just the most fascinating and just fun vibe. Like legitimately, it's just like this giant building. It just happens to be in the middle of the ocean floating around. But it's just like this giant building. But the whole point is for you to just wander around, enjoy, like just chill. And that is exactly what my husband and I did. We had so much fun, like exploring all the different parts of the cruise ship. We spent a lot of time just like wandering around. I think it was like 15 stories tall. So there was a lot. I think between like 5 to 7 of those stories were just like the rooms and stuff. We were on floor 7. So it was kind of right in the middle there. But it was great because it was only 2 stories away from like the main promenade. Like it was just like this. It kind of gave the vibe of like the main area of like a big mall. There were like shops and stuff on both sides. There were like places you could buy clothing. There was like a jewelry store. There was even like a hair salon. Like they had everything. One of our favorite spots there though was this like little like cafe type thing that was as part of like paying for the cruise. You could go there anytime you wanted. That it was open. I think it was open like the majority of the day, if not like 24/7. I don't actually know because I slept all night, every night. It hit like 10 or 11 most nights, and I was just done for. I was exhausted, so I went to sleep, and yeah. But my favorite thing was, so they had like a bunch of little sandwiches, cookies, cakes, and fruit. One of the fruit options was pears, and pears are one of those things that like I've always liked them, but I've never really like eaten them a ton. But you could just go and get a pear anytime, and so I would go and get pears all the time. So yeah, the pears were one of my favorites. I mentioned that in my Mexico video too, because there was a whole thing with my pear getting taken away at the checkpoint from the Mexico port, so that was pretty sad. But yeah, so I loved the pears. The other little foods were fun too, but I'm such a picky eater. It was hard to find things that I like really loved, but the pears, anytime I wanted, fantastic. It was really cool too because they also had food up like on the deck by the pools. They had like soft serve ice cream that you could get during the day, and my husband loved that. He got a lot of soft serve ice cream. But they also had like this like Mexican style buffet kind of thing where you could get burritos, you could make like a taco salad, and they also had these phenomenal quesadillas, and I ate so many of those quesadillas. They were fantastic. And it was another one of those things that was just like included with the cost of the cruise, so you could just go get them whenever. You didn't have to pay for them, and I loved that. It was great. I had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, so all the food stuff was great. Dining was really nice as well. And then, so like the dining, there were 2 like main options that were included with the cost of the cruise. The first one was just like the main dining room. It was like this 3-story tall, just phenomenally fancy, beautiful dining room. It was so nice. So that was really, really neat. And we ate there on, I think, the first and the final nights. But yeah, it was super duper neat. I loved the just general vibe of it. It was cool because, you know, like they had the multiple courses. I always like to get a Caesar salad for my like appetizer. And then I think the first night I had steak. And then the other night we ate there was the day that I ate too many churros in Mexico. So I didn't really want a main course. So I just ate salad that night. But yeah, so that was really fancy. And then the other option for like dinner, but I think you would go there for breakfast, maybe lunch and dinner. And so we went there for breakfast a lot and dinner a couple of times. It was called the Windjammer. But it literally was just like a buffet. They had like foods from like a bunch of different countries and stuff. So it was really neat to have all that variety. I ate a lot of bacon, sausage, a little bit of French toast. I tried their yogurt. I didn't love it. I'm low-key addicted to Chobani Flips, and like they're my favorite yogurt. I eat 2 to 3 of them almost every day. And so I was so sad that I couldn't have them on the cruise. And so like I tried the yogurt there to see if it was okay. I don't know, like something just wasn't vibing with me with that yogurt, which is no surprise. I'm really picky. So that was kind of sad. But yeah, they had a lot of great stuff in there. I really enjoyed their breakfast foods. And then I genuinely do not remember what I ate there for dinner. Like I think it was just kind of similar random stuff. Like there were so many options. So I just picked out a bunch of little things to sample. And there was like no like specific main meal that I ate. It was just whatever I thought looked interesting. Some fruit, some cheese. They had like a little deli section that was fun, so little meats and cheeses. They had these weird like breadstick cracker things. Like I don't even know what they were, but they were pretty good. They were nice and crunchy, so that was fun. I'm trying to think what else that they had that I remember eating, but I don't know. They just had tons of weird random stuff, and it was kind of fun. So yeah, that was kind of how the food situation was. As for like the rest of the time, so on Tuesday, the day that we were just on the ship all day, we had like a couple of little fun things that we planned to do. One of them was a tour of the galley, which was like where they make all the food. That was so fascinating to just like get to see where they make it. It was a super like all of the walls, ceilings, and floor were like all metal. It was so weird. And then like they had tons of like big metal appliances. Like it felt so just weird. Like it was not like a normal kitchen. It was like all metallic. It was crazy. But it was crazy how like impressive their sanitary guidelines were. They were like really, really strict about it, and it was just cool to see. It was kind of fun. We got to like meet a few of the people in there making food. My husband and I specifically remember we met the guy that makes all of the rice. He is in charge of the rice. He's the rice guy. And I'm like, what just a funny random like job. Like he is the rice guy. That is what he does in the galley all day is make rice apparently. So we thought that was absolutely fantastic. Like good for him. Shout out to the rice guy. But so that was pretty fun. And then that day we also did like an escape room, which was really, really neat. It was, I think, probably 10 to 15 people in there, but there was enough like parts of the puzzle to solve that you could work on at the same time that it made it so it was like, you know, if a couple people worked on each thing, everybody had something to be doing. And I was pretty proud of myself because I was able to solve one of the things that somebody else had been trying to figure out and they couldn't quite get it, and I got it, and I was just like, I feel so cool, I did something. And that was about it. That was my one like contribution, and I was like, this is good enough. Oh, my hair just got caught in my nail. There's just hair there now. It's like it's done for. I'll toss that in the trash. But yeah, so the escape room was really fun. Our group finished it with like 13 minutes to spare, so I'd say we did pretty well. And then just the rest of the time on the ship, like, they had a lot of, like, fun shows and stuff. The first night, we went to comedian's little show, and that was so fun. I love comedy, so, like, that was the best thing ever for me. I had so much fun with it. The guy was really funny, and interestingly enough, he might actually become a client for my husband's business. So like, it was kind of crazy. We went to get a pear later that night and happened to run into him and chatted. And yeah, it was kind of crazy, but it was fun. So that was neat. One of the nights they had like a big performance like about the history of like showgirl. And I went and watched that. My husband had fallen asleep and I was bored because I was awake. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna go see this show. And I love the costumes so much. Like, that was so fun to just see all the costumes. I'll see if I can insert a little clip of one of the acts that I just thought the costumes were just phenomenal. But yeah, so that was super fun. One of the nights they had an ice skating show. Like, it was super duper neat, but when we got there, we were a little late. All of the seats were gone, and it was so packed that, like, we could just barely stand in this little corner and, like, peek over people and just see a little bit of the show. So we didn't stay very long because it was hard to actually see anything. But yeah, so those were a lot of the fun things on the ship. There was so much more. I'll definitely have to continue to keep you guys updated on more of the stories and stuff. And hopefully in tomorrow's video, I can tell you guys about visiting Catalina Islands. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.